Hello, how are you? In the previous class we saw this part application fundamentals. Now we are talking about apps components. I say I don't speak English because I'm doing these videos for myself, yes, to improve English, create channel, and improve Android Studio knowledge. Thank you. If you subscribe, you are welcome. Thank you. Well, apps components or components. Oh yes, English.
Components.
App components are the essential building blocks of an Android app. Each component is an entry point through which the system or a user can enter your app. Some components depend on others. There are 4 different types of app components. 4 different activities, services, broadcast receivers, content providers. Each type serves a distinct purpose and has a distinct life cycle that defines how the component is created and destroyed. The following section describes the 4 types of app components. Okay, we are talking about the first one or the first activities. An activity is the entry point for interacting with the user. It represents a single screen with a user interface. For example, an email app might have one activity that shows a list of new emails, another activity to compose an email, and another activity for reading emails. Although the activities work together to form a cohesive. Okay, what?
Cohesive
user experience. The email app. Each one is independent of the others. As a different app can start any one of these activities if the email app allows it. For example, a camera app can start the activity in the email app that compose new email to allow the user to share a picture. An activity facilitates
facilitates, facilitates,
facilitates,
facilitates,
facilitates the following key interactions between system and app. Keeping track of what the user currently cares about. Keeping track of what the user currently cares about. What is on screen?
keeping track of what the user currently cares about.
To ensure that the system keeps running the process, that is, hosting the activity. Knowing that previously used processes contain things the user may return to. Stop activities and choose more. Highlight prioritize keeping those processes around, helping the app handle helping the app handle having its process killed. So the user can return to activities with their previous state restored, providing a way for apps to implement user flows between each other, and for the system to coordinate these flows. The most classic example here being share. You implement an activity as a implement user flows between each other, and for the system to coordinate these flows. The most classic example here being share. You implement activity as a I repeat this line, this sentence twice or twice. Comment below in the comments. You implement an activity as a subclass of the activity class. For more information about the activity class, see the activities developer guide. Okay, this is one of 4 different types of apps components activities. The other is services. Here I am doing with 125 zoom it. I think it's zoom it. This is 100. This is 100%, 110%, 25%, and this is and this is 150%. My first video I did with this song at 150, so now I am doing with 125 for testing. You can write below in the comments what do you prefer, or what would you do prefer, or something like that. What would you like? What would you like? What would you like? What would you like of song? I continue. Service. This is 125. A service is a general purpose entry point for keeping an app running in the background for all kinds for all kinds of reasons. It is a component that runs in the background to perform long-running operations or to perform work for remote processes. A service does not provide a user interface. For example, a service might play music in the background while the user is in a different app, or it might fetch data over the network without blocking user interaction with an activity. Activity is like a screen when the user interactive, like buttons or box of text box. Another component such as activity, another component such as an activity can start the service and let it run or bind to it in order to interact with it. There are two types of services that tell the system how to manage an app: start services and bound services.
Bound services.
Bound services. Start services tell the system to keep the running until keep them running until their work is complete. This could be to sync some data in the background, or play music even after the user leaves the app. Syncing data in the background or playing music or also represent two different types of start services that modify how the system handles them. Music playback is something that user is directly. Wow.
Directly.
What?
Directly. Directly.
Directly.
Directly.
Directly.
Directly.
Directly. Directly.
directly, directly,
directly,
directly,
directly, aware,
aware,
directly aware of. So the app tells the system this by saying it wants to be foreground with a notification to tell the user about it. In this case, the system knows that it should try really hard to keep the service process running, because the user will be unhappy if it goes away. A regular background service is not something the user is directly aware as running, so the system has more freedom in managing its process. It may allow it to be killed, and then restarting the services some time later. If it needs RAM for things that are more immediate concern to the user. So that is services, start service. Background service. So we have activities like a screen, and services is like a process. Back the screen. Bound service run because some other app or the system has said that it wants to make use of the service. This is basically this is basically the service provide an API to another process. Application process interface, I think. The system, for example, this is API. In this API, there are data and from your app, and you can fetch data inside the API from your app, your activity, or your service. The system does now. There is a dependency between these processes. So if process A is bound to a service bound. If process A is bound to a service in process B, it knows that it needs to keep process B and its service running for A. Further is if process A is something that you care about, then also know to treat process B as something the user also care about. Because of their flexibility. Because of their flexibility, for better or worse, service have turned out to be a really useful building blocks for all kinds of higher level system concepts. Live wallpapers, notification, listener screensavers, input methods, accessibility, services, and many other core system features are all built as services that application implement and the system binds to when they should be running. A service is implemented as a subclass of service. For more information about the service class, see the service develop guide. Important note: if your app targets Android 5 API level 21 or later, use Job Scheduler, Job Scheduler class to schedule actions. Job Scheduler class has the advantage of conserving battery by optimally scheduling jobs to reduce power consumptions, and by working with the DOS API. For more information about using this class, see the Job Schedule reference documentations. For this video, we are going to see only these two types of app components. Activities and is the screen, and service is the process of when you get a list of users to a remote wait, for example, or remote server, and then it presents to activity for the use to the user. The user can see it. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe or like, and you can comment below the box. Bye. I'm going to continue in the next video. Bye.